Oh, so Mr. Pantheon is lucky first, or am I the lucky one? Trying to set the camcorder. How's it going, Pete? What's up? What's up? Well, I guess it is time for our French press to be pressed. May have overfilled it this time because I'm trying to get 2, 3 cups at the same time. How are you guys all doing today? Oh, Luna is in here. Luna, you've been causing a lot of distress in the crypto market. In the digital world, you've been a problem. How are you guys all doing? Are you guys really ready for what's coming? Oh wow! Watching the Giants and the Cardinals game. Um, you are a Cardinals fan, aren't you, Pantheon? I'm not mistaken. What's up? What's up, Maggie? What do you want? A treat? Here, go. Here, go get it. Leave me alone. Mets fan. Yes, yes. Nice. Guy got a Glock. Hopefully, you are not carrying. Once again, welcome back, brother. Maggie, sit. Hey, sit down. Good girl. Um, Peter Jefferson, what's good, bro? Happy Saturday to all. It's weird that in 3 weeks we wait to see what the executive order will really do. Um, let's see if they cover between now and then. Um, here's the thing: if if they had the implication to not postpone, either way they decide on whether yes to not postpone it and prove it or to postpone it. Hey, sit down, Maggie. Go over there. Go. There you go. Either way, they're going to leave it until game time decision. They're not going to tell people ahead so they can plan accordingly with their investments. Now of course on the other side there will be people that will know stuff like this, like the House Speaker, and so people like that will have some access to that information, so they'll act accordingly on their investments. Um, but besides that, uh, the street can't handle it in general. You see what's happening. Other funds are swallowing other funds. Everything is going down. To rebound from this, you're talking about hey, can you sit? Maddie, go sit. Um, yeah, so we'll see. Hey, Maggie, go over there. Go over there. Being a bad girl now. Go over there. Go to the kitchen. That's your favorite place. Sit. Lay down. Man. Yes. And good. As I looked up, so far, nobody can show me how the synthetics and shorts can be ignored with the bbig cryptide stock 10 for 1 issuance. That date is May 10th, 27th. TikTok, motherfuckers. Okay. Sorry that I repeated that out loud, guys. Just carried it along. Pantheon, very aggressive. Now, here's the thing, Pantheon. I've said in a few lives before, um, there's two things that shorts can do. They can either give the stock back because, again, they have to account for all the BBIGs that are out there so the company can issue scriptide, split off kind of. The problem is, what if the hedge funds apply pay for the 10-to-1 dividends? I mean, at that point, it will be cheaper for them to pay the dividend, to pay for the dividend. I mean, if they have to pay for this or for this, it would be a much lesser blow to pay for the dividend out of their own pocket, since it's going to be anyways at a ratio of 10-to-1. Um, and the FTDs will not count, which is through the roof on bbig and the company. So those things will not count with, unfortunately, with the numbers. So therefore, the actual float of bbig will be issued, uh, and when what's its name, when Cryptide has its official IPO, that's when they basically will pay for every Cryptide. They'll basically pay for it themselves, that bbig has to issue. Um, it's just reading into it far. I don't likely see that happening, um, but that's a valuable um, thought to think about, even though like just reading too far, reaching too far for it. But um, man, something is so good with the coffee today. But that's something that I've seen that they could possibly. I just thought about, like, what if they because when it IPOs, when the stock IPOs, is going to have a value, and it's going to be somewhere between 8, 10, maybe 11, $12. I don't see it that far, but I would see it somewhere around $8. Uh, and if they can come up with whatever dividend there has to be, if instead of having to cover 10 BBIGs, they'll just pay one for each 10. So basically, they're going to get vaporized, but to the 10th extent. Um, Again, this is a thought that I brought up. Remember, guys, I was always speaking about bbig fundamentally as a company and everything, but this is a little bit different, like as far as what they're doing. Uh, the delivery will be by the 27th. The 18th is the report date, where the cutoff date where you can't buy any bbig, and for it to count for you, and so you could get free cryptides. Um, so we're waiting to see. We're waiting to see. I personally don't see them likability of them doing that, what I just mentioned, as likely, but it's a possibility. Um, I'll make up some numbers. If there are 100 million shares of BBIG, then only 10 million TIDE shares are made. Not one single more share. Yes, that is true. That is true. And, this is why, I said what I said. And here's the thing. Good point, Pantheon. I'm gonna get to the second comment, but I don't want to skip. Guy got a Glock. How can we track shorts covered by hedges heading up to our or during our squeeze? The squeeze. I've been poking, but no luck yet. See, here's the thing. Guy got a Glock. A lot of these things are gonna be like the indicators and stuff are gonna be like capped out, like literally, like so high and far out, like you can't even take into effect, or to you can't take them into consideration as much at a certain point. um you can see shorts covering through volume, brother. Like, I understand this is not like, like I've seen this happen with plays before. I've seen it in different plays happen before, and I seen the difference. Like, you could see it as it's happening. You could tell that this is shorts covering or not. Um, the thing is, what I think, again, what you have to be thinking about here, um, guy got a Glock. It's a little more deep than just how do we know when shorts are covered? Because how do you know that the self-reported short interest is true? So you're tracking something with something that is not tracked, or that is not final, or is it's what's the best way to put it? You're tracking something with a fake map, if that makes any sense. Um, people will hold on to their guns, and if the people do in this play, really, um, it's going to be really interesting. And here's the thing to also think about: when this thing is happening, a lot of people have been recently asking the question on, are they bringing the price down to, Frankie Muhammad brought it up to my attention, and Lou has answered something about, why are they bringing the price down and all this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've said it in a comment on Frankie Muhammad's one of his videos, and I'm going to say it like verbally once again. I don't think that the price is being brought down so individuals can cover, because who's going to sell? Like, what are they going to cover with synthetic shares? People are not selling in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. No one sold in any of these ranges. And you tell me people are going to sell at a lower range, especially around that range. I mean, that zone of the person that got in at the 40, I'm going to do some reverse psychology here, okay? The person that got in the 40s or the 50s, let's say 40s, and when it got down to 25, 24, 23, something around that range, if they didn't pull their investment out, let's just say they're psychologically invested into the market, and the fear and the pump and dump gets to them. Let's say it got down to 24, 23 bucks. That same person that bought at 40, if they didn't sell, uh, if they didn't sell in around 23, 24, 25, clearly that person don't care at all about their investing as far as like the trading percentages. They don't have a cutoff limit. Like, for example, I have a 20% cutoff limit. Doesn't matter what is happening with a play unless it's AMC or GME, any other plays. You know, if it's not a meme stock that I'm heavily invested in, that I'm mentioning here, that I have all the world conviction in, so I know it's being manipulated in a different way, so it's approached differently with different fundamentals. I have to change my fundamentals as I step up to that platform. But if it's any other stock, 20% down, and I'm shipping the boat. I'm shipping out of the boat. That's just me, because again, it's easier to remake back 20% than to have to make back 80% and sell at a 20%, loss, like at an 80% loss, and now you're left with 20%. So that's the point here, uh, and when that person didn't sell, that purchased at the 40s and didn't sell in the 20s or the lower 30s, clearly they're not going to sell at 8 or 9 or 10 or 11, because these people they don't care about percentages anymore. They're super invested into the stock, and they're just being manipulated to be squeezed out of their positions. So why are they bringing the price down? It's just again another psychological tactic that they use on the people. Hold on, this camera is not holding in one place. I'm not liking that. There you go, a little bit better. And I'm not liking that. Like I know that it's psychological, that they're trying and they're doing right now. All they're doing is psychological warfare, but obviously that's what it is. You shouldn't be affected by that by now. By now, like a year and a half into this play, in some cases almost 2 years, this is nothing. You get their gimmicks, you get their points, you get their plays. Uh, they can go to watch their Citadel movies in the AMC theaters as much as they want. As far as I care or no, they paid, right? That's gonna go to the Q3 or Q2 sales, and it's gonna be from them. So as long as they're a paying customer, who are we to take insult to it? Initially, I took insult to it, but as I thought about it a little more, it's It's like, why? Why would we? It's a business. AMC is an open business. Anything or anyone that goes to it, even if it's greatest enemy, that's a compliment to us. Because if they're really like, if they're really there and they are hurting, they would have went to do it in Denmark, or they would have done it somewhere else. But instead, they chose AMC. Again, that's a compliment to us, because when we eventually squeeze, we'll go back to them and say, you remember such and such, you remember such and such, and it's up to you if you like to remind people or things of what happened and bring them back to reality. It's up to you at that point. But anyways, who's gonna sell down at that range? No one is going to sell at that range. There are two outcomes here, or two possibilities, three possibilities. Sorry. One, all this is psychological, which I'm leaning toward the most. Psychological effects, and it works on some people here and there. I know that it does. I've seen it work on people that don't follow the market. Don't count you guys yourself in. I know that you guys have seen the most and the craziest, and all of you guys in here, you're not victims of the stuff that they do over there. It doesn't affect you much. Yeah, it might get you annoyed, but it doesn't affect you much because you expected it kind of. But there are people out there who work full-time jobs, and they're literally doing nothing to stay updated with the play or anything. I mean, they even have this bad idea about YouTubers in general. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's Trey, whether it's Blue, whether it's me, whether it's Pantheon, anyone. They just have a bad idea about YouTubers, um, and they really just block all that out. So they go with what mainstream media is giving them now. So basically, they're just sheep astray and leading themselves straight to the slaughterhouse. Um, Not saying that we give as creators the best. I mean, God knows there are some bad creators, there are some good creators, but at the end of the day, hey, go sit down. Go. Maggie, sleep. Lay down. Lay down. She's the sweetest girl, but she's still a little puppy, 2 years old. So she needs all the attention in the world. She's a very good girl. She learns very quick, very, very, very quick. I didn't never thought I would ever like a golden retriever. But if you are to run for office, you have to have normally a golden retriever so that you can show your Americanness. um, so, anyways, so it's either that one, like I said, hey Maggie, Maggie, lay down, lay down, lay down. Good job. Go to sleep. That's it. Um, and psychological effects. If it breaks and makes it or breaks it for them, that's good. Let it do its thing. Oh well. um, yes, so that's one. Second possibility here is they're bringing it down because they have a pre-agreed upon swap agreement that they had with um, I'm assuming here in this case, and this is again, this is an alley, like I'm suggesting this. This is not factual. Nothing about it is factual. Um, but it could be institutes above. Come on, stick. There we go. It could be institutes above, guys, that they had been lending out shares to them all along over these year and a half, and throughout this year and a half, I'm pretty sure they made all these connections and everything, and all that other side is on the same page, anyways. We're the only ones on the opposite end. Let's just make that clear here. It's very rare, small amount of companies that are institutional companies on the other side that are away from all this and just completely to their own finances and their own plays and their own everything, away from the other street, from the other side, or away from us. they're just doing business. Those are very little, because on that side, everything goes through everyone. You know, everyone gets to know you have to go through this person to get to this person, and it's just like that. Connections. Remember when they keep saying in the world is connections is everything? Well, these are the people that creates these terms. You know, so either that the institutes will give them shares to cover in those prices. That's my second least likable case of why they're bringing the price down. Um, I mean, I know that out of everyone, retail won't be the people to sell it. Um Retail is the people that are holding this because they're already in the loss, so they're not selling in any of these low prices down there. Um, so it either has to be institutional, that's one, or no one else, because they can't cover with no synthetic shares or crappy shares. Um, so if institutes, which leads us to the third option, if institutes don't give them the shares or don't sell at that range, then the only way that price could go back up and we can get is through a delivery of FTDs. There's no other way. Listen, guys, I'm gonna tell you my opinion on this case, and I know a lot of creators are different on this, most likely, and I'm perfectly fine with it. This whole earning stuff times and FOMO kicking in and all that stuff. Let me just tell you something. This FOMO stuff might make it seem like in this system that we have going on right now and how the market maker operates and brokers operate, FOMO is something that we see that we think is happening from other people, while in reality it's the system that is making that FOMO go up based on the feelings that it has or what agenda that it has carried out, algorithmically speaking. Okay, now I know that was a big statement saying too much at once at you, but let me just go through this and then you'll get me at the end. Um, if you see the idea that these guys can go ahead and just put out whatever agenda and suddenly, you know, everything dumps, and then they could put out the opposite agenda just 24 hours later, and the opposite can go up. Now, instead of going down, it can go up. And you see all that stuff and you're like, okay, well, how's that? How did that just happen with the government or the feds when they announced the 50 base points hikes? First, the market on that day of the announcement, everything went green. They started believing, like the media said that, oh yeah, we're Feds is about to tackle the inflation. Everything's going to be perfect. And not even a day later, or yeah, on that Friday, that's when the opposite happened, and the media spun it the oppositely, so in the opposite direction. And it said, what did it say? It was something so ludicrous and funny. It said something about, oh yeah, the something is like it's so expensive. The hikes are gonna break the liquidity in the markets and whatever, and automatically we're going in the opposite direction now. So personally, what do as AB think? What will start covering this thing is a delivery, a certain delivery of FTDs that must be delivered. Because again, here's the thing. This is, and I understand that everybody is talking about, like, you know, there's ways for that other side to keep postponing the FTDs um, left and right, here and there, but it can't be correct, guys. This can't be right. Like, we can't have FTDs in this capacity, like that magnitude of that big, and nothing is done about it. I mean, you know, the companies, not just us, hurt with that happening, which leads me to why I don't understand why any of these companies are not opening up their mouths. Um, because, you know, when it's not delivered, it doesn't go toward the cap of the stock or of the company, which means the company doesn't even get money for it as well. Um, it affects the evaluation of the company. When you got a stock like AMC or GME being bought, the float itself has been bought out numerous amount of times. Of course, people can prove it to you through FTDs, and some people could just tell you, "Trust me, bro," or whatever. But we know what's up, which is seeing it through the volume. When you do it every day, you don't even have to have a spot on number. When you see every day, we have since January of 2021 all the way until now, we've had 90% of the days that we had since that day till today have been on any on trading day, business trading day. We've had more buy-ins than sellings. So more incoming than outgoing. For over an entire year and a half, yeah. So I think it's gonna come into a form of some FTD covering. Some people are gonna translate it in the wrong direction, in a wrong way. Hey Maggie, go outside. Go over there. Go over there. Come on, baby. Go. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. There you go. Good job. Stay. Stay. No. Uh, so so I think there some FTDs will be not all of them, of course, because all of them will make this price go great, like into the imaginary numbers that most people are telling you not to go after. Um, but some level of FTDs will be covered. Here's my breakdown on it. Some levels of FTD will go on it to the point where it will cause a little bit of FOMO as well, because people are going to think that somebody have covered, especially from the price that we're at right now. Okay. And when it goes in, you're going to see the price automatically go up into the 30s, 40s, 50s with a little bit of FOMO. We're going to kick into that 70, 80, which I think the number that gets in this market conditions that we're in, the number that will get everybody margined, or those little devils up there margined, is anywhere between that 80 to 90 bucks, maybe. I'm assuming here why, because that was the cutoff. $74 level was like the roof that they decided not to let us go past in June, and obviously that's when the order got. If you're one of those people that are tying up this whole thing to the June 3rd, you know, a executive order, then that's when they amended this, or not amended, but postponed the executive order, as Bloss Blunts have brought out, and I've learned it through Pantheon and Boss Blunts as far as for the executive order, and it's unless that gets postponed again, then I think that's how this going to go down. And once it gets into the 80 to 90 bucks, I doubt that it would need to be into the 100, but 80 to 90 bucks, that's when you're going to get the first, that's when you're going to get some margins, people that will definitely get margined. Eventually, with them covering, knocking down other people behind them in the pursuit, price is going to climb. We're going to be somewhere, again, this is hypothetical here. Again, this is what AB believes how it's going to go down. If people obviously don't paper hand this crap or whatever, I think before it even gets to us, the price is going to be well into the 400s or 500s before it even gets to retail. Keyword, before it even gets to retail. I know institutions are going to give them at those ranges. Institutions will give them shares to cover. Institutions will sell in the 80s, 90s, 100s, whatever. Even in the 70s, they will sell. Because again, think of it from their perspective. I'm thinking of it as I'm one of them. Because one, they have been purchasing, even if they bought in the 40s or the 50s. And I know many institutes did, because I was there on the wagon back then and before many of them did. But many of them have been in since it was 9, 10, 8, that range. the price was dancing around that range for about 4 or 5 months. Um, Majority of the OGs in this game are in that price range because that was the most relevant time in that time zone for the people who were making, that's when AMC was starting to come on the map even more and more. Um, and so odds are they're in that price bracket, anywhere between the higher sevens to the higher 12s, because that's the range that it was just dancing in within 4, 5, 6 months. It was just dancing in that range. As soon as it broke that $12 range back in May, that's when initially right away I knew that that's it. We broke that movement. We broke that consolidation zone, and it was time to give. It was just time to give. Something had to take. You can't keep a good dog down forever. That's a saying you guys all have to remember. They could try, they could do whatever they can. But again, I'm gonna continue with what I think and how it's gonna go down. Um, so yes, I do see institutes who have made hundreds of dollars per share at this point because of how many times they kept relending the shares and all that. So they're going to put that into perspective. If they have 2, 3, 4 million shares or 500, 600, 800,000 shares, and the price is at 100, you think these institutes are going to wait for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, 5,000, whatever, No, that's adding in how much they've been making on lending out the shares. There you go. They made so much money at that case, like millions of dollars. So yes, we don't need them, but we need them because again, if you look at the short interest that's reported on AMC, it's so wickedly, very close to the amount of short interest or the institutional investors in AMC. So let me rephrase that. So institutional investment percentage is, excuse me, very weirdly similar to the amount of short interest there is on the AMC play. So when you see the idea that this price is, let's say there's 120 million institutional investors, like shares, just 120 million in institutional shares, and then there's 120 million that is supposedly short on the AMC float. So if retail is not selling and they're holding on to their guns, what is going to give them? I mean, I partially believe that they knew this was happening and they needed the institutional investor to step in so they could bail them out at lesser prices, because they know that people were. I mean, that idea that we initially started with in the first of this movement, we didn't have a price problem back then. As I tell all of you guys, I don't know when you came into this play, but towards the end of 2020, throughout most of the beginning of 2021, I'll tell you, we never had the price issue. The floor was actually the least of everybody's problems. The floor was, 100,000 a share, 50,000 a share. Let's just say we never had an issue with the price. Now, as of recent, we started having this issue of, oh, don't be crazy. You should take the lower hundreds to be safe, or you should take the mid hundreds or whatever. And I don't know where all this stuff is coming from. I know that the New York celebrity Lou has been bringing a lot of that stuff up and everything, but it's so stupid, guys, because when you think on it, you think about what you're holding and the amount of interest that's on it. You're holding gold that is out of this planet. That's how you should look at these shares. And I'm not telling anyone to hold for higher numbers or lower numbers or whatever. Whatever you want to sell at is whatever you want to sell at. But I'm just saying that back then, the last issue we had was a price issue, or a bracket issue, as people like to call it. I hate the word bracket because, I look at my shares as gold. That's just the way I view them. Gold is Sorry, I keep looking around because Maggie is just keeping me big. I know, I said your name. Hey, can you go sit over there? Maggie, go sit over there. I'm doing a live right now. Please, I'm going to take you out on a run after I finish. Let's go. Go over there. Maggie, go. 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 Good girl. No. Don't come back. Go. Sit down. Um, sit. Lay down. Lay down. Maggie, lay down. Hey, lay down. Why are you not listening? Why are you being bad today? Lay down. Good job. There you go. Did you guys hear her at that? She's throwing in the temper. She's like, I hate when people bring up these bracket talk and prices. No brackets in his house. So yeah, I look at my shares as gold, guys. And gold is different throughout every time or every market. Maggie, here, go. Take your ball. Go. Go over there. Sorry, guys. So yes, so like gold has different prices and have a different evaluation depending on the market that it's in right now. So I'm not gonna go out there holding my gold in my hands. I know you guys expected a different term, but holding my gold in my hands and you know, who wants to buy this and what is the price for it? No, you have, like, you see what's the price of your gold. I see what the price of my gold is, so therefore I'm going to act accordingly, because we don't know the sentiment of everyone that is holding the stock. I need you as much as you need me, and you can multiply that into, you know, that same idea into the pockets of every holder, whether institutional or retail, in this process, in this game. Once all are somewhat on the same page, this is why they wanted to infiltrate Reddit. This is why they wanted to infiltrate YouTube channels, go on a lot of people, and literally infiltrate the idea so that they can make a division amongst the ranks. Uh, if everybody is constantly just holding on to their uh, guns and saying that we're not, the floor is 50,000 or whatever, and all those crazy numbers, the perspective here is it's realistic. Like, it's not realistic number, but it's realistic outcome. It could come out. It could be possible. Um, but will everybody look at millions in their accounts and say, no, we want hundreds of millions? Like, you see what I'm saying? And how would you can't know that. You can't know that unless you're seeing the volume of what's happening and you're seeing how people are letting go of this thing. Uh, I just always factor in the idea of what they made me go through. That it's kind of like if you're working a job, you always put in, you know, what it costs you, time, effort, how many men needed for the job, whatever the case may be. And that's when you evaluate how much the ticket needs to be for this. These guys made me go through, if this goes to September, it'll be officially 2 years. 2 years of downright BS movement and BS that they've been doing, filling up their pockets while I have to continue holding the bag, right? This is the way I see it, not as being distraught, no, as in me being patient, waiting eagerly as a bird. I was the first bird on the block in the morning and I didn't get my worm. So I'm waiting for my worm, and I believe now it's going to be a huge worm based on all the manipulation that has happened over 2 years of my lifetime. You know, one thing you can never buy is time. And that's, I value very preciously and dearly, extremely valuable. Um, so if obviously they borrowed, that's the way I see it. They borrowed so far up to 2 years of my life, and you expect me to let go of whatever random price, you know, or whatever. No, that all that is being evaluated into the receipt that I'm going to bill you for. I'm going to bill them for, you know, hypothetically speaking here. I'm not gonna put those 2 years for what, a few $1,000s worth of whatever. Again, I'm not trying to influence anyone here, guys. I'm just putting in the fact, I'm putting in the dots here to where on top of the lines or beyond the lines that I consider them to be, you know, point ending lines or points. That gets me super emotional when we start speaking about brackets and we start talking about prices and all that stuff, because we don't know the elements that are going to happen when this thing starts ticking off. I personally, as I just laid out a little bit ago to you guys, I believe that some FTDs will be delivered after that executive order or before that executive order. Some people knows what's up, so it's going to come out of nowhere. A lot of people, uh, a lot of people are going to think that the covering started, and this is, I think, ultimately where the biggest game, the final and last big game of this puzzle is going to come down to this. I think that a lot of creators now are giving their people the implication that, hey, uh, they're gonna cover, they're bringing this price down so they could cover at a low price. What are they gonna cover with? They dumped. Hey, Maggie, stop! You're pissing me off now, Maggie. Sit, lay down. I know we're gonna take you out. You went out twice today, Maggie. Okay, lay down. I'm gonna give you a treat. Lay down. Stop licking. You know I hate this. Lay down. Lay down. Sorry, guys. Okay, Maggie, go over there. Go over there. Come on, Maggie, go. Maggie, go. 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 All right. Sorry, guys, again. So, um, so a lot of people are going to be given that flag or the waving of the flag saying, oh, yeah, somebody is covering, they're covering, and don't fall for this crap. If $74 did not make them cover, remember this, the 40s, the 30s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s did not make them cover. So clearly, unless it's 80 or up, to me, this is how AB takes it. You guys can take whatever you want to take. Believe it, whatever you want to believe. This is why I'm not a financial advisor. Uh, but it's going to be the next number in, or the next figure, which is 80s or higher, that I believe will make everything crumble. Now, do I think they want it to get to that point? I believe this is why they take this long, why they took this long to deal with this covering or any of that stuff, because they don't want it to get to a point where they're all just margined and they can no longer control the outcome of this. The most important thing to them is control. That's the single most important thing, because once they can't control this thing, then they can't control the outcome, which means, yes, the possibility of the craziest numbers is no longer a possibility, but more of a reality. Um, and it could be there at any given time. So control is the most important thing to them. Um, I don't think they'll let it get to the $80, $90 zone without them already making strides for that. Like whoever needs to cover at that point have made enough money in the past year and a half, uh, and they would have the money on site or on hand. I believe this is why they took NSC, you know, 10 20, dash 2021, because I don't even think that the other side really needs it. It looks like, yes, the money is dry from banks and central banks and all that stuff, but this is going along with the plot. The one thing that they can't see in this whole situation, the world can't see, is that really the world was, as we say, correct. If we prove that this whole thing was manipulated, the other side lost more than anything you can ever think of, because that hysteria of conspiracy talk that the government is always against you and they're out there to get you, that will finally be put to rest. Yes, it is true. We are being manipulated, and the government will, have nothing to say about that. So they need to control the narrative. What does all that bring you back to? Control, 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 and more control. That's what it's all about. Controlling the whole outcome, steering you from this to that while the next phase is being played. So I think we're in the big end of this. Uh, we're in the end of this phase that we're in right now. So therefore, let's see what's the next one. Clearly, you can see it. Digital versus crypto. That's the next phase that we're going to be fighting in. And and obviously, when that fight starts, he's going to be one of the first co-founders in that fight, and I'm going to say go crypto, because digital, yeah, you can keep what my in your digital inbox. So yeah, so personally, that's how I think it's going to go down. Um, some FTD covering, as it can't be continuing to keep getting pushed further and further. Uh, the Chinese collateral, of course, will have a lot to do with it. If he says, yeah, all of it went worthless and crap, I could see, these guys on the other side as well saying, don't think that they're the only losers, guys. Do you know how many people, once he does that with a stroke of a pen, do you know how many people will also like evaporate because of that? Like regular people like you and me, like everyone, like in this chat, because many of the investment groups took investments like from whether pension funds, 401ks, all those stuff. And guess what they were investing them in? They were investing them in the same crap, over leveraged crap. I mean, come on, let's think of Evergrande. Evergrande was that institute that was believed, well, one, it was the largest realtor globally speaking, by numbers or by magnitude here. But this thing, the way that Goldman, we know they're implicated in trillions of dollars in debt as far as, or in plays that are tied up to that. That's why nothing has been addressed as of yet. It's been over what, 7 months, and no one have like nothing has been talked about the collateral for for the Evergrande catastrophe. Do you know how many 401ks are tied up to that, guys? So by the stroke of his pen on June 3rd, if Mr. President decides to make us all rich, he will also be making so many other people and entities very miserable. At the end of the day, we did not cause this, guys. Um, they're reaping the fruits of their labor, of their hard work. They're the ones who made these investments. They're the ones who went and got this paper trail, bull, BS crap paper that they put all this money in, and they got it back, and they used it as a collateral form to use with banks back over here to get more loans. So if they were going to the Federal Reserve saying, "Hey, we need money," you know, the Federal Reserve is going to tell the bank, "Well, here's your money," and then the bank is the big central bank is going to turn around and say, which one wants money here?" Citadel comes and says, "Hey, I need money for this," and they asked Goldman for this. You can go do some research on this, and you'll see what you find. You'll be entertained, quite entertained. They asked Goldman. I'm just breaking it down for you. That's why it's different way that I'm like. It sounds like it's different or new, but I'm breaking it down in my version. Um, so yes, Citadel goes to Goldman, says, "Hey, we need some moolah. We want to make some investments." Well, what is your collateral? Citadel comes and brings all these paper notes from Evergrande, and at that very moment, Goldman goes like, "Okay, well, yeah, look, this is the largest realtor in the world. This is more secure than gold. Like seeing these papers, these notes that you're providing me, that you're holding 2,000 or 400,000 shares in Evergrande, that secures me. That's my collateral that you can pay back this loan." And based on that, they went ahead and gave Citadel a bunch of money. And Citadel's likes too as well. Like other people did it. They're not the only ones that were doing that. Even the Melvins did it. So many people were living off of it. This is why this was great timing. When you see that June, they were done with that. They're about to open a new one in July. Um, all this stuff tie up, guys. So when Evergrande defaulted, these major banks, like the Goldmans, the Morgans that were doing that, Nomura, uh, that large BNP, whatever, that French original bank, Barclays, and I can sit here and name many more, Stanley, uh, all these guys got caught up, basically, not just with their pants down, but whatever money they were even taken based on other holdings. Like here's the funny thing: there's one thing to lose your money, and it's another thing to lose your money and someone else's money. Okay, this is what happened here. They lost their money. They lost the other money that they took based on collateral that they showed that they have holdings in this, because that right there was a centerpiece. As that centerpiece evaporated, which was Evergrande in this case, everything evaporated with it. And for the last 7 months, the whole market, the world has been living in a coma. Literally, like your conscience is there. That's the best example I could give you. Your conscience is there, but you're really not around physically. And that's the biggest killer of them all, is the fact that the Fed is acting like a pimp or like Big Daddy on the block, while these idiots they call smart money are out there getting slapped by international investors and the international waters and the international world. They're getting slapped. They're getting played like they have never been in the market before. They've executed terrible decisions, terrible representation, even to us, to the American people. Like that was embarrassing. To me, I think business, you got, if you're in the business world, everything is personal. No, when everybody says, "Hey, don't take it personal, it's just business," what do you think is being said there? No, I want you to take it personal. That movie saying is exactly why it is what it is. Like it is for you to take it personal. It's not just business. It is personal. Everything in business is personal. You speaking to a person who since 21 and now I'm 33, so it's not that big of a career or much or that long, but you're speaking to someone who for over 13 years have been operating or opening his own retail businesses. Yes, I am stepping out of retail, but that was all part of the plan. You can't, you know, start off flying. You have to walk, first crawl, then walk, then run. And then with the right runway and takeoff speed, you might have a little bit of push from the most high. You might reach your end goal by being able to fly to your goals and reach them. So with these guys being played like that overseas, like, are you kidding me? They even come back and they still, because they control mainstream, they still come back and the media is instantly talking about Griffin as, oh, the wonder boy. Oh, he's this, he did this, he's about to buy out Chelsea. He's also buying out this. They're moving from one citadel to another. Money is so good. Life, like, my God, he's the guru of this generation, and a brain to be reckoned with. Like they should probably get his brain after he passes away, and replace Albert Einstein's brain with his. They literally made the case for him. Like it was just that crazy, and it bothers me. It is personal to me. It is personal because somebody is getting credit for something that they have nothing to do with. Literally, like they did not do anything here. All they've been doing is robbery, scam, playing a role that is not theirs. It's kind of like an actor. No matter how good the actor is, it's still not the real person that they're implicating to be. Like the Passion of Christ, Great movie, right? Actor did amazing. But guess what? He's never going to be Jesus. No matter how great he was, no matter what he did, he's not Jesus. So it is personal. It is personal for me. Yes. Anybody that says it's not personal, that's you. That's how you think. It is personal for me. These guys will have to pay, and I would love to see them take their rightful place on this in this pagan order of the world, whatever order you know the world wants it to be. Because again, I'm just one out of billions of people. But at the end of the day, I need to see us get what we expect and deserve, and more, because it's it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to be. I mean, I can go on longer and longer about it, guys. It's not going to do you any good. You've already made my points. But like I told you, I believe some FTDs will happen, uh, triggering the price up. A little bit of FOMO sprinkled here and there, not going to be too much of an effect. Uh, but it's going to take the price up. Some paper hands are going to paper hand when they see the price in the 30s and the 40s, because they think that this is another cycle, uh, that people are going to, that the price is going to go down after. So might as well get out now, buy back later, only to be met with the ultimate reality that no, this is the real deal. This is the push up. And those are the people who are going to be the most pissed, because they've held for a long time. They've been believers in the cause for a long time, but where they lost it, they fumbled the ball right on the goal line. This is why they're going to be the biggest pissed off and the most hated, and the most haters also against the community. It's because they waited until the last moment. They got the ball to the goal line and they fumbled it right on the goal line, like right before going into the end zone. And obviously they lost the ball game, because they'll try to chase at that point when the price is well into the 60s, 70s, 80s. They will try to chase, and they'll be afraid because they no longer believe, like, oh my God, like they're going to be psychologically screwing themselves up left and right. They're going to be saying, well, last time the high was 74. I'm chasing it and it's already 78 or 80 bucks. What is it? What if it just goes down, it hits 90 or 91, and then it goes back down for another high, and that's it. And we end for another 6 months to a year. Those people are going to have the worst squeeze experience, in my humble opinion, because those people are going to, like, sell for much, like for pennies on a dollar or peanuts. Um, and in the same time, they're going to be like, oh my God, look at that. It is possible. It really is possible. That, my friends, is the result of not having conviction from the beginning of the play. So they got into the play possibly because of somebody else's agenda, or somebody proved it to them, and then they took that to the bank and ran with it. But they never asked themselves that question: do you really believe in this play? Do you really believe in this play? Not because you think it's your way out to make money, but did you really believe? Educationally, did you really believe in this play? Because that's what it comes down to. Because if you sell, and I'm not going to send any numbers, because that way I'll be implicating myself, as in like telling people to not sell or what to sell at. But if you sell and you later on feel like it was obviously very, very, very cheap, don't blame the system. Don't blame the reverse psychology that they've been doing on us, and don't blame all that. Yes, they've been doing all this crazy stuff, but only blame yourself. Why? Sorry, the cam is falling backwards. Why only blame yourself? Because you never had the true conviction for this play from the get-go. You were telling yourself that you do. You're telling yourself that you got the conviction for the play. You're telling yourself that you believed it, but through other people's words and points. But have you really done your own relative, like, decision? As you're about to travel, not everybody else is about to travel with you. So when you make that decision, it's your decision. You've made it. You're like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going here such and such day. I'm leaving. I made this decision. That's it. It's an executive order. Have you made an executive order decision on AMC and GME or other meme stocks? Have you made it an executive order, or did you just follow along? Because if you made an executive order, then own the F up to it. Believe in what, like, listen, guys, believe in your goals, believe in your dreams. If you truthfully made an executive order about this and you say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be, what's the worst that can happen? If you go 100% forward, it's physically and realistically impossible for you to fall backwards. It's impossible for you to fall backwards if you went 100% forward. Worst case scenario, you fall, if you don't even reach your ultimate destination, you fall somewhere around that vicinity. And if you're right there, you're one leg in, one leg out, you might as well be two legs in or two legs out at that point. It starts like, my point is everything begins and ends with you. Literally everything, because the world as you see it, as we all see it, in our brains, in our consciousness, we're the only ones that are seeing the world like this. Like right now, the world revolves around me because it's my world. I'm seeing it through my two eyes. It's natural. So are you. Same thing. Uh, I mean, I'm very grateful for the fact that I have 35 something people watching my view. I mean, I'm just some random guy. Uh, your guys' time is everything to me just because I value my time very dearly. Your guys' time is very, very, even more dear to me because, like I said, it's one thing to lose yours and another to lose yours and someone else's. So in this case, it'll be one bad thing for me to lose my time, but it's a catastrophe for me to lose my time or to make you guys feel like you lost my time and I lost you your time. That's why I definitely take all this and try to leave whatever I have with you every time. And sometimes I might forget about some things because again, I don't come in with a pre-prepared agenda. I just come in and tell you what I see or what is the issue for this current time that we see ahead of us or on our agenda or on our books. Uh, Everybody owes everybody money, and the Fed is the only financier in this case. It's happened so many times before. It happened in 2008, exactly same setup, different means maybe. Everybody owes everybody money. Citadel owes so much to here and there and here and there and here and there, and the banks all are borrowing and taking money from the investors here and there and the feds. And what do they turn around and do? Raise the taxes, apply tariffs. Who's the ultimate loser in this? You and me. So I'm putting all this into accountability and into the equation of how much per share I'm going to sell my share for. See how I looped all that back into the into that ultimately to get into my point, which is all this I'm putting into perspective. The tax that they're going to raise on us afterwards. You think they're going to pay all that money, and then since eventually the real people that are paying for this are going to be the government, whether you see it or not. It's not going to be these guys. It's going to be the people that they are operating under. Um, so since they pay it, they're going to want that money back. And how do they get it back? Taxes, many ways. Again, the governments play the long game, guys. They're not like you and me. We might be in this thing for a year, 2 year, 3 year, and it's going to be like, oh my God, this is never going to happen or it's forever. But governments, they take 8, 10 years before they get what they initially draw for. They plan for something, they draw it out 8, 10, 12 years down the line, and eventually get it. I'm not here to fight or get you to turn on the governments. I'm just trying to get you to understand how the whole system works behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, however way you want to look at it, and where you stand so you can know where you need to move. Because everybody's step, like if we all know all the information, everybody's still going to have a different outcome because we all have different agendas. Some people want to end corruption. Some people want to end this. Some people want to do this. Some people want to do that. Some people want to tackle, this stuff head on with this. I have made it clear many times before. I have different goals, different agendas, And to get to them, I need to go through this bridge. And then once I'm off this bridge, I'm never staying, never returning to that land again. Not to the investing land. Of course, investing is going to be always part of my life. Um, but I'm never going back into this land again of all the corruption and all this crap, or trying to rechange the system from what it is. Uh, I told you I value time so much to the point where it's extremely important to me. It's just extremely important, and it should be extremely important to everyone else. Obviously, you only have one life. If you live it correctly, it's more than enough. You don't need 5 lifetimes or 2 lifetimes or 3 lifetimes. One life is more than enough, guys. But the key point here is to live it correctly. So I have my agendas, I have my goals after this, and I'm gonna go following that. That's what I want my legacy to be about. Um, of what I eventually did, which were the goals that I've always had since I was a kid. So I want to be able to do them. And honestly, I even open up even a little notch more for you guys and say this: my plan has always been to go ahead and plant seeds of hope everywhere else that needs it on this planet. Believe it or not, there are people out there that don't know the idea of capitalism, but the good capitalism here, like the idea of they might have a lot of hens and roosters, but they don't know how to put that together to make it a big barn that could produce eggs and chicken meat on a regular that could support their family or their entire community. They don't know how to magnify it. Let's just put it that way. They have the means, they just don't have the magnifier. And AB's ultimate goal is to go and plant that everywhere else, help where he sees fit, bring all the knowledge or all the things that I'm learning, take it with me on the road and go out there and apply it with other people, because I know I'm going to be absorbing, I'm going to be giving and absorbing a lot back. And that's ultimately my biggest goal, is to learn as much, because no matter what, as I always say, and I know you guys give me some crap for it sometimes here and there, as I always say, AB is never a teacher. I will always be, until my last dying breath, the student, because the second you stop learning is the second you already die while you're still alive. So, um, yeah, don't worry. I know it sounded like it was an ending conversation, a stream ending combo, but that's not what's going to happen, guys. Wow, I am definitely so behind on this. God knows what is being said here. Wow, I'm literally like from the front. Let me see. Let's try to pull out some questions. Um, da, 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 da. Where am I? Okay. Okay, Luna, tell him BB, Pantheon, yes. Okay. Um, Redwan, how are you, brother? Welcome to the stream. You deserve an award, bro. Yesterday's stream was full of info despite that lawnmower. Yeah, I know, right? They choose the perfect timings to do whatever. Well, one thing, again, I am very, very honored, Redwan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I'm very honored to hear that. That brings tears to the heart. That's what it's all about. When are you and Pantheon doing a live stream? We already did one before. It was a couple months back, but that was just the kind of what's the best metaphor here, or what's the best analogy? That was just us tipping our toes into the water, testing the waters. So, in time, soon, brother, hopefully, we'll find a perfect moment and we might rejoin forces. As far, I mean, as you can see, we're here around each other all the time. I'm either at his stream or he's in my stream. Every now and then, and we continue the respect and love towards each other. But anytime, the door is always open, obviously. So Pantheon responding to the guy got a Glock. Guy, you always got the best name. I'll just give it to you from now. Um, Look for decreasing volume and decreasing share price. That's one thing to be on the lookout for. That's a good advice. Um, as far as for the shorts covering. In 54 on the downside, I'm not effing leaving. In at 54. Well, eh, guy, listen, right now it might make it look like, put it this way, 54 down to $10, down $44, okay? Um, hypothetically speaking, that is at $10 right now. $44. But if this thing takes off into the four-digit range, do you see how little that $44 become? Because the difference from 55 to four digits or five digits, God knows, whatever, everybody's got a different number. Um, but I just know thing that three digits are higher than two digits. Four digits are much higher than two digits. Five digits are also much higher than two digits. So all this is psychological effects right now. The number is playing with you. Wait till the real number comes out, or we get to the real number. Okay, let me try to skip through a little so we can be up to date. Chris, welcome, welcome. Know about Canada, but in the U.S., remedy is in our U.S. and more impatiently, our states constitute that most everyone is clueless about. Yeah, that's true. Oh, okay, I see, I see. Uh, okay, good question right here. Redwan, one of our brothers on Discord, yeah, I know who it is on our Discord, is up 600+% on an AMC call for $13 strike price. How can he be up so high if he's not in the money? Well, here's the thing, Redwan. This is options 101 terms for now. One, extrinsic value. By me, I know the individual you're talking about. He's in our Discord. Yes, I don't know. I have never shared our Discord in here. Um, so maybe, if not asking too much, if he's still in here, you know, he could share it for us. Mickey could possibly be a help, grateful help, and share the Discord into the this so that people can see it. But yes, where are we? Yes. So the timing. So one thing, Radwan, is the extrinsic value, which is the time. Okay. Every day the option loses, it loses value. Okay, as you hold it, um, because yes, he did get. I'll speak on that example. He got July. Okay. And July right now, $13 on that push that it pushed from $10 or the upper nine a few days ago when it pushed up to $12 something. Obviously, I don't know if he sold or not, that friend of ours. Um, then he would have had that percentage. But I'm pretty sure it's much less now. Why is it less? Because obviously the price did go back down, and now more time have passed. By the time it opens on Monday, it's even going to be less. Uh, so he'll be having some decisions to make. Um, and again, it's 600% of the option value. Don't think like he put in, for example, 5,000 and now it's 600% higher. Okay. So there's again a lot into it, Ridwan. I do believe that if there's any questions, of course, about options and stuff like that, it's much easier to answer those on Discord and not through me. It could be through obviously other members. Um, it's just so much easier and safer. In other words, I could be wrong, but I swear this year, in terms of stock market and legislation on levels of market domestically and internationally, will shape the world for the rest of the decade. Yeah, of course. That's how the game is played, Jefferson. Well put. Well put together, brother. Okay, cool. Your live stream is too late for me. I gotta keep in touch with you. These are frightening times for real. Add a little more to your schedule. Change your work schedule. Guy got a Glock. Pokes is in the house. Pantheon's showing some love to Pokey. John Curie, where's BBIG price going? Well, right now we're in the 14th. We got 4 more days until the cutoff date, right? Of buying BBIG and then receiving Cryptide for it. The real answer here is, remember, guys, the special spin-off that is happening from BBIG to Cryptide, it is coming out of BBIG's evaluation or needs, which means you could expect a drop in BBIG's price. So how will that affect, or how will that work out? Well, that could be definitely leaving the door open for BBIG to climb up monsterly in price sometime in the next couple weeks at the most. And eventually, when that split, that split off comes and happens, and the division happens for Cryptide, basically BBIG or Zash is giving birth to a third or fourth different company on its own IPO and all that stuff. Uh, yeah, that could definitely be in the works. Like I said, I just hope everything but the scenario that I broke out in the beginning of this live stream. You know, uh, hopefully something like that just does not happen. Um, but besides that, um, you know, BBIG is primed for the craziest of things. Uh, right now, so far, they're dark pooling the crap out of BBIG, and it's only getting some pressure release in the after hours or in the pre-market, um, where they can make sure that they don't get obliterated throughout the regular market days, because they know a lot of people just don't have access to aftermarket and pre-market, and plus anything that is being sold right now is in their best interest to buy it and take it, close it, because if somebody's selling in these price zones, um, you know, I don't know how or what is going on in their head, but unless they know some sort of insider trading info, on what's about to happen, and it's in their best interest to sell, then I don't understand why anyone will be selling this stock right now in these price zones. It doesn't make sense to me, because you selling it, you're waiving getting your right to receive free shares of Cryptide, and just so that what you can make 5, 10, 15, 20 cents profit per share. uh, you know so yeah, it makes zero sense. So guess what, we're in that time, we're in that window. This is why I said in the title of this video, are you ready for what's about to happen? Are you really ready for what's about to happen? This is why I broke out specifically and spoke about people who will be very regretful afterwards, because they are mentally screwed and psychologically played with for such a long time, for over a year and a half, depending on how long you've been in this play, to the point where they just they don't know, like, hey, do we, do I really want this, or do I not want this? How is this another setup for another price? Are we gonna, go to 80 or 90 or 100 and drop back down for another year? Like, people who be thinking all that kind of stuff, that's gonna be too much into it. Um, yeah, those are the people who are gonna hurt the most because they're gonna make transactions based on emotions of the moment. And you know, if you're purely one of those people that just do what you do and think after, and you're okay with the outcome, hey, you probably be okay. But if you're an emotional person and you felt like, you sold at a price and then you see the price like go 10, 20 times higher than that price, like ludicrously higher, um, those are the people going to suffer the most, besides the people that are going to lose out on their 401ks, the people outside the market. Um, but you people who paper hand this, your people are going to be the worst off. Like at least the other people didn't know about AMC, so they'll be able to sleep at night saying, "Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that. I wish I would have known about that. Well, from now on, I'm going to keep an eye out for the next big thing." You knew about this. You've been in this, and you just didn't have enough conviction, and you didn't stick to your guns, and you sold at a very stupid range where you still woke up and went back to work the next day, which is not, there's nothing wrong with going back obviously to work the very next day, but it's a different thing to be going through battle and then come back to go to work. Even soldiers, when they went on wars throughout time, when they came back, their commanders gave them off times. Their commanders gave them vacations. They gave them their break. Go see your family. You've been away for a while. Um, what do you think? This is not the same thing? We've been at war. If you don't think this was war, I don't know what planet you've been on. This has been war. They've taken money from you and your loved ones. They forced you to make sacrifices on holidays. They forced you and me to become different individuals. Whether, I mean, it is for the best, believe it or not, because we became much smarter and more sophisticated, wrinkled brained apes that we never would have been in a million years if it wasn't for their training, their hardcore, harsh training. But still, did they get our consent for that? No. It was forced upon us. It's a war that came straight to our doorstep, and we did the one thing that we apes do, which is we never turn down a fight if it comes to us. We never back away from it. This is our stock. This is our investment, and you're not going to take our homes from us, uh, you know, unbattled. This is what they want. They want our gridiron, guys. It's clear. They win this fight. Oh my God! If if they win this fight, it's like good luck to capitalism. It will be probably like this will be the beginning of a communist movement in the U.S. Slow your horses. Don't worry. I'm rallying you guys up emotionally. Don't worry. I'm just playing with you. But truthfully speaking, here, this is war, guys. This is really war. These guys came for everything. They really did. Didn't? Aren't you one of those people that did not buy gifts or bought gifts but had to think about it and get different kind of gifts for your loved ones or your kids on Christmas? Had a different kind of Easter. A Halloween was half full chocolate bowls. Less vacations, if not none. Holding, putting your whole life on pause. Who's the work of? It's them. We could have been done from the first day. This would have ran up. We got paid. We moved on. That's it. Next play. Whoever wasn't in AMC back then, right up to the next play. If there is a next play, and life moves on. They win, we win. They win, we win. It's like another never-ending cycle of Valhalla. Every day we wake up, we go to battle, and then at night we feast in the halls. But they don't want that. They don't view us equal. They don't view us the same. They view us as their milking cows, where the more of us is needed so that we can be taxed more, which means more money for them and more labor for them, meaning more profits for them. But at the same time, they keep pushing out the agenda of we need a different world order with less people on it because global warming. And suddenly now you have random viruses that are just popping up on a periodic table every now and then. And people are being skimmed. And who is it targeting exactly? Sorry, I'm getting a little conspiracy on you, but who is this last thing took care of or took out? The elderly. The elderly. What do the elderly do around their life at this lifetime? I mean, after retirement, what do? You just collect money while you're sitting, which rightfully should be the case. Um, and now there is no need. There is no need. We're not going to be paying as much Social Security payments. We're not going to be paying enough retirement, no 401ks, all that. No need. Of course, whatever that person owned goes in the will to their loved ones and their family. But anything the government owns this person or owes this person, they don't need to give it to anyone else. That's it. No more. No mas. No Social Security, no none of that stuff. You can't tell me that this last virus did not help um, the governments in many different ways. Again, let me back out of that before I get shadow banned again and kicked out of YouTube and kicked out of maybe the country and put on some Guantanamo Bay place or some shit. So no, I'm good. But food for thought. Think about that stuff, guys. Don't you think this somebody had some an advantage and for that all that to happen? Financial advantage. Let's see where I'm at. Ghost, welcome. Tater Tot, how are you doing? Uh, Big game 7 for your Leafs. Yes, big time. Two of them, whether it's Dallas and Phoenix, or obviously Milwaukee and Celtics. Milwaukee and Celtics has so far been leaving me with that so much. You ever been into a open gym game or walked into an LA Fitness and went to the rec and there's like 50 people sitting around while they all call next, 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 and then one next after the after next, and you don't know any of them, and you walk in and obviously it's just so hostile in there because everybody knows they have to wait. They don't want to get off the court. Otherwise, they'll have to wait for like 5, 6 games before they're back on again. So might as well go home. That's what the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks series is leaving me with. They're literally like, there's so much animosity and so much hatred going on. And I can't lie to you guys. I'm impressed with the Boston Celtics. Like, wow. As much as I hate them, don't get me wrong. I'll get into that later. But I'm impressed. They know Danny Ainge was a master in knowing how to get these guys, up to date and how to develop these players. I know it's Danny Ainge is the GM, but is what's his name? The coach, Brad Stevens. Is he still the coach? Because if he is still the coach, I mean, wow, that's remarkable. That's a remarkable feat. And now you got to think which one, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen Brown a little more, but it's a hard choice. I think one of them is going to eventually say, "Hey, I need my team," and one of them is going to go the other way. I think they're going to hold on to Tatum more. He's just more of a franchise look to him. But I like Brown more on a defensive level. That's where the difference between them is, because offensively they're both exuberant, but defensively, Jaylen Brown takes it to a different level. Jason Tatum has been making strides, but different level. Again, if you guys are wondering how, I mean, I can't believe I was able to say all this good stuff about the Celtics, because if you know AB is a Laker, diehard Laker fan, and for me to even say this much good stuff about this anything Celtic related, that's impressive. Just to let you guys know. I'll tell you a funny story. Back in high school, my senior year in high school, we actually got into a huge fist fight with some random guy at a bar. We were sneaking in, me and my friends, and some guy and his buddies. He was a diehard Boston fan. I was a diehard Laker fan. We both got into it. He was the type that was getting too emotional. He would not let go, and he would say crappy stuff that was purposefully said so that he could itch my, anger out. And it was working. Again, I was young, stupid, an idiot. Um, we were just trying to say stuff that's gonna hurt the other. It was not an intent to make a point. It was how can I get to you? That was the intent. And yeah, we eventually got into a fight, and yeah, we got kicked out. I got kicked out. It was bad. AB is a big Laker fan, big Laker fan, and never talk about Kobe Bryant. Unless it's going to be good stuff, don't talk about Kobe Bryant because it's a different AB that comes out after that. May his soul rest in peace. All right, let's move on with this. I think most apes will sell a few shares in the beginning to break even, but I can't see many apes selling at less than 1K by 5 to 10K. Most people will be out and saving a few shares for crazy numbers. Redwan, I mean, that sounds like a well thought of plan. Good for you, good for everyone else. As long as you have a set plan, hey, that's the ultimate question here is to have a plan, because as long as you don't have a plan and you're just going along and you emotionally will react to this, you're gonna make the wrong decision 9 times out of 10. You're gonna have an emotional back decision or an answer, uh, and it's not gonna be good for you. You're not gonna reap the fruits of that. Tater tot leaves are keeping the same lines together for tonight. I'll be watching. That's right, AB. All they're doing is stalling the inevitable. Show me the money. Oh, they will show it. All right, you'll see. We need boss blunts on that note right there. Hey, such and such, get the goddamn money printer out. No, not you, Maggie. You don't have the money. I know you don't have the printer. I don't know why you came. I know. You need treats. We'll give you treats. Mr. Panulo, welcome. 34 people watching and 17. I bet we can do to 25. Give this man a thumbs up, please. Pantheon, much love to you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You shower me with your niceness. Uh, uh, Henzo, hey Henzo, how are you doing? Can't wait. I'm trying to for over 100K. I think easy for the low 5 digits. Hanzo, for your sake and mine, I hope so. Mickey J, the goat, how are you doing? Tater tot, appreciate it. Hype, 34 people, yeah, right? You people got it to 25 thumbs up. Thank you. Well, thank you, Pantheon. Appreciate it. You all guys made it happen. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. Whoa. Hey, look, Maggie. They're getting me likes out here. We're getting liked. Dana Young, how are you, my friend? Hopefully all is well. Uh, I put a like on my iPhone and TV. Wow, am I so honored? Um, yes, Hanzo does rule. Thank you again, Tater Tot. Yes, and Pantheon is the best, in your opinion, in my opinion as well. Dana, thank you, Radwan. Leave a comment, yes, please. Um, I'll know you got it made once you do live streams in your mansion. Kim A, we're all good. Hey, stop clicking me. Sit. No, no, sit. We're not going nowhere. I know that you know that I need to do this live stream, so you're using it against me. I know you're twisted. Go sleep. Don't give me this innocent face. Oh yeah, well it's working. Lay down. Lay down so I can finish this live stream. Hey, lay down. No leaky. Lay down. Nothing in here. It's empty hand. All right, moving on. Oh, did I break one? I'm like my daughter. She had Saturday school for breaking rules. And here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? Since Kim A, like I made that, like I know you got it made once you do live stream in your mansion. AB really doesn't care too much for that stuff, guys. Not too much. Hey, okay, Maggie, go over there. Maggie, go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Go. Go. Okay. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Um, in this play, if the price touches the 200 and above, AB is set for good regardless. I'm not selling. I'm not saying I'm selling at 200. I'm not saying when will I sell. I'm just saying that for me, for my position um, in these plays, whether it's AMC or GME, but AMC in this case, obviously, once the price reaches the $200 range, AB is already set. But AB has already different methods that I told you about. Like I have to factor in my time, I have to factor in the sacrifice, I have to factor in the taxes that they're gonna come in even after. So many things, so many things. So but I've calculated it enough. Like, don't think I've always made it clear to you that I always said keep your eyes open to everything and all the things around, and keep yourself very active and calculate everything, your position, know where you at, where you stand, where you're gonna be if such and such becomes the case. What happens? Like, you got to make so many different scenarios. And I'm very good with strategy. Remember, I told you I feel like everybody has a gift in life. It's just up to you to try to uncover that gift and polish it as much as possible as you age in life, and that will be your work for the duration of your lifetime. And for me, I did figure that out a long time ago, and I believe that strategy is my strong suit in life, or my gift in life. So I've been working on, all my life has been on trying to polish that gift, which I believe is to be a very good strategic person and mindset. So to be a good strategist, you have to come up with many different possibilities or strategies to um, that could possibly be an outcome, and figure an answer to them, or answer them ahead of time. Um, so by having that mindset and thinking like that, I was able, through so many different hours, countless amount of hours and everything, to come up with the idea or a process that ultimately got me to get to this point, so that I do know that at the worst case scenario, in my book, in AB's opinion, the worst case scenario, AMC would reach the $200 range after all my work, all my numbers and everything. So if the worst case scenario ever happens, I've set myself up to the position where, if the worst case scenario was to happen with AMC, AB will still be good for good. You got to remember, guys, also that since I was 18, I've been working on having my own businesses and to be my own boss. So since I was 21, I made that dream come true, and it's ever since it's been like that. Uh, I just want to step away from retail. That's it. I want to take it to the level of no longer having to be at a particular place, or for a place or a business to open from a certain hour to another hour or close at another certain hour in order for me to have income. Because if people were to stop working or the workforce becomes terrible, similar to those times of when the government was giving out money and people were just sitting down collecting unemployment, my business both of my businesses were being burnt in those times, and now they're being even more burnt with inflation. So I this is it, as far as what I've set myself up. I put all these things in the perspective. I made the plans, I made everything. So I ever since, yes, back in 2020, you're right. Who was it that mentioned that? Tater Tot, yes. um, Ever since then, I've already known that this is it. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to go about it. And this is how it's going to go down. But the only way for me to make all that happen is by doing this, doing this, doing this. And I needed them, the other side, to also play a big role, which is the postponement game. I needed them to play that the BS they've been doing on us for a year and a half. In a way, I needed them to do that so I can get to this final component of my strategy, which is the big goal. If you guys remember, a lot of you OG subscribers here remember that AB's mission was always to constantly keep doing day trades with that money. I would transfer it from my Webull, because again, I've made a case to you guys. You guys should all know why it's smart to actually use Webull. If you use it for day trades, it's the best app you could use for day trades. You could use it in the morning, 4 to 8 o'clock at night. Um, you just have a set amount of money in there just for day trades. That would not have anything to do with payment for order flow. In fact, you kill their system. I was able to give you guys or the world the way to take advantage and play the system. You like imagine if you have $10,000 or $25,000 just so that you can be a day trader, do day trades. $25,000. Maggie, what's up with you today? Go over there. Maggie, go. Go. Um, so imagine if you have your daily trade restriction amount in there, and every day you go in the morning, you get your 5-10%, you get yourself $500 to $1,000 quick mornings. You don't give a shit about any stocks that, uh, sorry for the S word, guys, but yeah, you don't give a damn about, sorry for the D word, guys. You don't give any ticks about where this takes or if it squeezes or not. You're just in for daily money in the morning. You made your 500 to 1,000, maybe $2,000. You take that 2,000 or that $1,000 out, you transfer it into your lit exchange broker, and you buy shares with it, AMC or GME or whatever your meme stock is. That's why I needed them. I needed the other side to do this prolonging tactics and this manipulation they've been doing, because that was part of the play. The longer they did that, my model was going to be successful, because the longer it goes, the more profitable my model or my procedure will be, because that gives me more time to load up more and more and more and more and more and more, and to get to that point that ultimately that's where I'm at. So right now, AB feels pretty cool and good about where he got them. I feel like I strategically I outplayed them uh, in my own thoughts, in my own words, in my own ways. Um, and hopefully everyone else is gonna also. I'm not saying that that's where that's where the cutoff is or where that's what it's going to go to. I just personally, my own opinion, I think that's the worst case scenario, is it will be somewhere there. Uh, and the worst case scenario for AB is still a great case scenario. AB is ready. This is a message for the the devils, as Lou likes to call them. You know, again, I don't have anything against anyone, but this is for the D's. You decide. Either way, I'm gonna be good. Either way, I'm gonna be good. I know how to make something out of nothing. Um, not claiming anything godly here, or any of that, of course. God forbid. Um, I'm very small and very little. It's just that I use this like an ant. It uses this, certain gifts to to gain its power in its world and its realm. Um, and the ants' power is in their colonies, being strength in numbers. Um, and that's how I compare me or us to that. Nothing, no other colonies. I mean, if you look at other creatures or insects or even uh, things that exist out there, nothing comes close to how ants or even bees react or act like, so that they can continue to flourish in their ecosystem. Nothing can beat them. I mean, it's honestly, this is, I know, off topic, but it's a very good comparison. We have a strong ant colony, and anything that comes to our colony or in our path is going to be devoured, including the little D's. What's up, Lord Nemesis? How are you, brother? I keep enjoying those pop-up questions that you put on your channel. You come up with some good questions. Like one of them was about. I mean, they're just very interesting questions. So I keep answering, and then I will look at seeing which one has the most percentage on it. And you'd be surprised. I was surprised with some of the answers on some of the questions. Welcome here, brother. How will Ken be a market maker in the cryptosphere after all this madness? I believe he just got in already. Remember, madness is how you and I are reacting to it. To them, he's part of the club. They need to make way for him. Um, because I believe, here's what happened. This is an allegation for now, so it's not 100%, but we'll see. It does sound believable. But apparently, uh, Citadel and BlackRock both initiated this attack on, Bitcoin and stablecoin. Um, remember, guys, over a month and a half ago, about 2 months ago, I was the first and only person that was telling you there is a war being fought on two fronts. No creator and no one was talking about this back then. And I gave you a homework to go home with. Remember when I said, here's your homework, go work on this and see what you get out of it? Some of you in here remembers it. Remember, I said circle, and that's all I mentioned all the way back then. No other person was talking about this stuff back then. And now we've seen the first bullet, I feel like, fly. Like they shot the first bullet out, one of the sides. So what happened with Luna and how it was done, it initiated the major drop off, that catapulting effect through all the other cryptos, because this had taken a dump, because that took a dump, and that dumped on this, and that dumped on that, and it was just a domino effect. And purely, they did it. Like, if they truly did do it and they were after it, BlackRock and Citadel, that is speaking, they were able to sell off their Bitcoins for Tether and then dumped it off all at once, which means when Bitcoin even went down because of that that castrating effect of between one to another, to another, to another, to another, they were able to get back into Bitcoin for even cheaper, because Bitcoin did touch was it 25,000, the upper sphere of 25,000 at some point. Now it's consolidating around 29,000. I wouldn't count it out that there's more coming on the way as well. So Look how manipulation works. You see how they were able to knock out more than one bird with one stone. They did many things and threw out so many people out of the way. Um, Bitcoin right now is, it was on the way down, but it just went back up. I won't look at much today. I would say look at it tomorrow at night to see what happens with it. I mean, a lot of drops and a lot of consolidations. This is the scariest places to be is in the crypto realm right now. But day trading, because unless you know exactly what you need to get out and what you need to do, you at any given moment you could lose the floor. It could all be quicksand. Look at Bitcoin. Cash is moving nicely. 16% up. Um, so yeah, hopefully you guys all understand my theory that I mentioned on Webull and the retail aspect of it and how to use it to your advantage, because you're not paying any uh, fees, transaction fees, commission, nothing. It's free. You sell the money that you make instead of doing it or buying anything with it over there. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I'm just saying what AB does. I transfer that money out to my lit exchange broker, and then I buy my shares there. Guess who made more money? Who infiltrated their system? And guess who um, utilized their all their link, all their advantage, all that Webull advantage, free, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I left them with a paper trail for their payment for order flow. They can go ahead and take my day trades action and send it to the market maker and say, hey, guess what, Citadel? Or here you go. This one customer, unfortunately, we can't route any of their orders to you because they have none. They're in and out within moments in the pre-market. Other than that, we don't have anything to do. Like they do nothing on their. They're a weird customer, you know. They don't do nothing on their Webull account. They just trade between 4 and 6 in the morning, and then that's it. It's weird, right? Like, what is this person? Who is this person? This is what AB is doing. I utilize the pre-market. That's the only time I trade day trades. Majority of my day trades, obviously, unless something is squeezing in the middle of the day. But yes, why not? It's much smarter and better to use apps like Webull. Obviously, Robinhood, no, because it opens up 6 in the morning, not 4. So by then, you're already 50% chances less to profit from a day trade. Um, so yeah, think on it. Makes sense. You conduct your business there. They have good uh, trading views. They have good everything. The only thing that is bad is the payment for order flow. Well, if we take out that issue, what causes payment for order flow? If you're buying long-term stock or stock that you're holding for long on that platform, well, if you're not buying that there, then the problem is no longer there. There is no problem with that payment for order flow app. There's no issue with it at all. So, because you took out the payment for order flow issue, why not make money? Pay zero fees on it and take that money, transfer it over to your broker, your long term lit exchange broker, and move forward from there. Instead of sitting there and labeling the whole process as bad or labeling it, these things like, oh, Webull bad and everything, these places are not going nowhere. Look, you can see Webull on the Nets jerseys. You can see crypto.com, even though it got infiltrated a few days ago by you know who. If you don't know who, just look into it. Uh, they have the naming rights on Staples Center, what used to be Staples Center. All this stuff, guys, all this stuff. So why not utilize anything? If something is bad, take the good out of it. Always look at everything. No matter how bad it is, there's something good out of it. And that's what I look for in life. I look for the good, even in the bad. There is always good, and absorb that. Absorb the good. That's it. Lord X. Ah, the Taco Bell pizzas. Those were not bad back then, actually. How can we invest again knowing Citadel involves most stocks? Kim, um, here's the thing. It's kind of like that question is kind of like, how can we? It's kind of like here's what it's similar to. It's similar to how can we live knowing that one day we're gonna die? How? You continue to live. You live your best life. Same thing with. There's only so much that Citadel can do. They can manipulate. They can do this. They can do that, but they cannot control the final outcome. Like we said, we're gonna like we're holding out to our guns. Here's the answer to also to your question, Kim. Is if we triumph in this movement and we win this cause the way we expect and beyond, then your question um, will be you will retract it. Why? Because you're gonna want like in fact, guess what, guys? If Citadel and other hedge funds did not do all this manipulation and they didn't continue to do this crap, would we even have these brackets or these talks about crazy numbers? No. In a way, we needed them to manipulate so that we can have the exposure to higher numbers. If nobody did anything wrong, this is a normal play. It runs up 10, 20, $30 and that's it, done deal. But because of all the manipulation and all the additives and the hiding, now you have an exposure to possibly completely life-changing wealth in the future. So when somebody asks me, Kim, let's ask the same question again. How can we invest again knowing Citadel involves most stocks, involved in most stocks? Then please, my answer is please point me in the direction of Citadel invested stocks, which is almost all of them. Yes, point me to the one they manipulate the most, because clearly the world, the currents have changed. Don't be afraid of anything. That word fear, don't let that be coexistent in your dictionary, guys. It does not matter who, and what, and where is in what. It doesn't matter. If you we got the power, we got what we need. You got your play, you got your conviction, you got your DD, the company's fundamentals and everything. Who the hell cares who's in it? No matter how powerful or big they are. Uh, Remember David and Goliath. And I'm by no means comparing Citadel to Goliath, and we in this case as David. Like there, those were still huge, legendary, you know, uh, statuses and people to compare these, with them. Like whether us with David or obviously them with Goliath. Um, but it's a good comparison. Would use it. They could be Goliath or David. We know what happened with that story. We'll break him down. The more they're involved with, the more money we make. Let's see here. What do we have? A Lynchian move will be in order if crypto is taken over by Kenny Boy. Um, I mean, he's gonna take off as a market maker there, but he's not gonna take off as like most people think. Like right now, the government is still trying to fight that with stable coins, like with the digital dollar. They're trying to fight the crypto realm still with all that stupidity because they want more control over people lives and control. So to get that, they need to do all the terrible crap to people. Um, and in order for him to be a market maker in that, they have to figure out how they can manipulate the blockchain. which I don't think there's a possibility for it to do anything. But again, I don't, I'm not the expert here, so we'll see when we get to that point. Um, Mob, I agree, Lord. Um, Charlie, how's it going? I'm started late and I'm catching up. Hey, brother, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Luna. London Metal Exchange is gonna go bust because they reserved thousands of transactions, reversed thousands of transactions. Now there's no open interest. U.S. brokers should pay attention. Wow, when that happened, Redwan, is it recent? Me too, bro. All right, Tater. We'll see which team will win. Uh, 20x Mexican pizzas to go, please. Lord, uh, I need one of those. Send one out to your homie. Haven't had Taco Bell in 30 years. Is it that good? Um, well, I don't want to. I would say give it a try. I would say give it a try. Depending on how you look at food. If you care about the what it does to you, your overall physique, and if you care about the ingredients and you care about whatever, then you want to be obviously away from Taco Bells and fast food restaurants. Um, if you care about flavor and you don't care about that stuff, all the other stuff, and you just want to live and eat and be happy with whatever you want to do, then yeah, I would definitely say try it out. Two Mexican pizzas and a hockey game sounds like the rest of my day. KJW, welcome. I'm breaking my diet just to eat some Mexican pizzas that day. Going right back on though. Next day. Yeah, hopefully it's all worth it. Add sour cream to the Mexican pizzas. Hanzo, great advice. Yes, don't chase buy now or on the dip before the rip. Smart, valuable advice for future reference, guys. We don't have a Chipotle where I live. I never ate there, unfortunately. LOL. Oh, wow. You've never tried Chipotle? Well, again, I'm not saying it as in it's like that good. You're just missing out. No, I'm just saying it because it's like everywhere in the Midwest and in the Eastern Coast. Like it's everywhere. Like one thing I'm not 100% sure on, but I think I do know. I think I'm 100% sure on this. You guys can confirm this in the comment section, but I believe McDonald's purchased Chipotle a long while ago, like 5 years ago, I think 5, 6 years ago. They purchased Chipotle out, the rights to Chipotle. So Chipotle now is originally it runs its own company, but it has its own McDonald's. The owners are McDonald's. If I'm wrong, please correct me, guys. The government and the banks are all in the good old boys club. Hey, somebody's been listening. How's it going, Philip? Miss you, my friend. Retail investors always get the shaft. MOS will be our time for a piece of the pie. Yes. Uh, Philip, absolutely correct. Remember once I said before um, that they take theirs, we take ours, such and such take theirs, the government take theirs, and we take ours, but we will be left eating from basically dog eat dog. That's why it's set up in a way in where we're best friends right now, me and you, all the way until the squeeze. When the squeeze happens, we're automatically by default no longer best friends. And why? Because you're going to sell at a point where I don't know about. I'm going to sell at a point that you don't know about. And may the best man win at that point. Because eventually some people will walk out losers from this. Um, and I think truthfully, the people that will walk out losers from this are the people either that didn't evaluate this process correctly or this play correctly. That's one. And those were I was talking about earlier in this chat. I was talking about the paper hands that will sell very low and then eventually expecting it to go down, but it doesn't. Then after that, they start chasing and end up buying higher points with lesser shares. Really make after they do their day trading. Taxation taken out of it when everything is said and done, they might be like barely in any profit. That's one. And the second people are going to be the people um, that are too greedy in a way, not because they're greed, because the information that is being floating around and flowing around have gotten them to believe truthfully that yes, again, I'm one of the first people that was always been telling you, yes, the crazy numbers are a possibility. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. There's two different things. There's one difference between it's possible for this to happen, and then another thing for it to actually happen. Um, and it takes a lot of diamond hands and a lot of balls and a lot of money on the other side. Again, it's possible if you're willing to go through down that aisle or that dark alley. Um, I'm not saying I won't be going through it. I'm not this or whatever, but AB will always take care of himself and then leave, uh, space for the unbelievable to happen. Yeah, I will try. I would love to seize the moment with you guys, and I will go for that. But I'm not gonna hold the whole bag. Trying to wait for that realistic, like kind of like a gambling bingo shot. Like if either hits or either fails. That's not how I invest. So good talk, Philip. Brendan and Ella's. How is it going, my friend? Let's see. Where am I at? I'm way behind. No taxation without representation. Right on, Lord. Um, I bought more sale price Friday. Yay, one of the lucky ones. Harshan Gill is in the house. Hey, AB. Oh, 1 second. I think I missed. Ooh, did I overstep? Yeah, I somehow skipped on me. All right, I'm back. Um, SV Tweety Bird, late, but I made it here. I'll catch up later. Thank you, SV. Hopefully, we measure up to your standards and we don't waste any of your time. Um, okay, we have, yes, guys, definitely the tennis player. Um, is it the tennis player? But yeah, that is true. I do know a lot of stories about taxation. So yeah, don't forget to pay your taxes. You got to plan all that stuff out, guys. You got to overreact to it. Kind of in a way, like if you know that you're going to pay, let's say 30% tax, plan out for 40. Just plan out for 40 in case something extra here or there happens. If it happens to be less, even better. You over prepared is better than to be under prepared and be put in a monetarily dilemma that you can't bring yourself out of. So nice, SV Tweety Bird. Good thing about rain and no golf. I get to listen to AB live. Well, Tater Tot, that brings tears to the heart, brother. Thank you. KV is in the house. Hey, look at him bringing in all the love and all the excitement with him. Praying for the big payday. I'm not even religious. LOL. Kim, you see what what these hedge funds have done to you? They turned you into a believer. I got people who are like who always said believe. Any of you guys watch what's his name? Van Duncan. It's a scientist, or he's not a scientist. He's what he would call himself as a philanthropist. Uh, but he speaks about alien life and the world outside, and the fact that they are advanced civilizations out there that we confuse with the term God, and they visit Earth from time to time. And I don't know if any of you guys watch stuff like that. Again, AB is always trying to learn more stuff, and I've been for a while learning, um, on that stuff. And in fact, believe it or not, the reason why AB is actually a strong believer is because of science. Strange, right? It's strange that science is what people think or believe that is supposed to be keeping you or us, um, is thinking the opposite, that there's no God. But it's actually, it depends on how you translate it. But to me, it made sure to me that there is a higher power. Science did. It wasn't like my hope or my fate or whatever. No, it even scientifically, it proved to me that there is a higher power, because science itself also proves that it's impossible for a Big Bang theory to happen the way that it happened, uh, and to be in a perfect like this, unless there was an entity that was of a higher power, uh, that orchestrated that art. Um, Again, not I know we can dive deeper in that, but anyways, uh, Van Duncan, he was a very he considers himself to be a philanthropist. He has the voice and the narration that makes him so believable. Like you would automatically believe him just right off the bat because of his voice, his age, his narration. But if you go and research into it, the guy he did spend a lot of time in prison for the chariot of one of his books was the period of the chariots, something like that. The chariot of gods, the chariots of gods. Yeah, he wrote that back in I don't forgot what year, but it was a long time ago. And apparently, it was taken from somebody else's, and he's got a lot of allegations on of like bad crimes, of as in like playing the system and lying and fraud and whatnot. Um, but yeah, you don't see that on the channel, like because he's made it big. He's into the PhD, a doctor level of all that. Anyways, um, I just thought that was interesting. That's another world I dive into as well. You always got to ask questions. I ask questions everywhere. If you were around me, you'd probably be annoyed with how much can take my attention. Just about anything can take my attention. Maybe is like the dog in the human world. I can't get in Discord. Is it because I already joined another Discord? No, that can't be. Uh, that's weird. Um, where's my phone? Here. I think you're probably in. This is. This is the link. I know Mickey J already shared it, but just in case. Celtics defense is top notch. Yeah, and Milwaukee. So is Milwaukee's too. Miami's is really nice. This is interesting. I honestly think it's going to be a Golden State championship once again. Um, we'll see what happens. I can care less at this point. As long as the Celtics get out at some point, perhaps soon, I'll be fine. NBA wise, I'll be fine. My team's already out. I do, however, want either Luca at this point, either Luca or I want the Suns. I know they're going against each other. So whoever comes out of that, I want them to win the championship because Chris Paul deserves a championship. Come on. Like the point guard god without a championship in his career, that makes no sense. Come on. Come on, basketball gods. Make it happen. And of course for Luca being, in my opinion, uh, the most interesting player in the whole NBA, only to be followed by, in my opinion, the most dominant player is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, are you seeing what he's doing with these guys? He's toying with grown men on the court. He's pushing off people like Jason Tatum, Tice, Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart. I mean, he's literally like moving them around unwillingly. Unwillingly, they don't want to move. It's not like they're just moving. No, like he's pushing them around like kids, and they're grown men. There is no answer to that guy. He takes one, two step. Next thing you know, it's a dunk. He's he's a definition of an impossible recipe for a player. And to be good at that, I mean, can you imagine if he can develop that pull-up jump shot like KD? You know how KD can just shoot right off the bat. He can catch and shoot right away. If he can get something like that going, oh my God, he's already the most dominant in the league. But yeah, those three, four people, I would say, are very interesting. Even five right now that are very interesting to me. One, Luca, Giannis, Nikola Jokic, uh, Joel Embiid, and Anthony Towns. Towns, 7 footer, 3 point contest winner. It's interesting. The NBA is going to be great. We'll see. Oh, so it's Brad Stevens is the GM now, and Danny Ainge is gone. Okay, so they said goodbye to their legend player. Um, but that's good. Brad Stevens is a good GM, and Ime Oduka is the coach. Okay, I see. And I'm from Sask, but I just like TB, like Toronto to be to. But I did bet against. LOL. You bet against your Toronto, huh? I mean, I wouldn't blame you there. Toronto, just for one championship, they literally screwed up broke every rule that could be like of trust. They let their franchise player DeMar DeRozan. They played him. They played him bad. That was a really bad way. They played him really bad, and just to get a rental for a championship, to get Kawhi Leonard, and then obviously he's a Clippers issue now, and it is what it is. Let them reap the rewards of that. I just want Damian Lillard to go to the Lakers. Come on, Dame. Why do you keep fighting a lost cause? Like they took CJ McCollum from you. Nobody's in Oregon anymore. No one is there. Leave. Go to the land of purple and gold. And we'll send Westbrook to you to Oregon. AB is grimy, isn't he? Rob Nugent, welcome. Lord Nemesis. It's okay. It's it's at the end of the day, as long as you watch the final game in June in finals, that's all that matters. Tater tot. I like the sounds of digits. AB and Pantheon sounds like tag team champs to me. Well, that's an honor for me at any given time. Hey, mijo, Jeffrey. ¿Qué pasó, amigo? Um, Samira Yusuf Qasim, what's up? I was literally just thinking of you 2 days ago on my own time. I was like, how's everything going with them? Hopefully everything's going good in Kenya, and hopefully uh, she's doing great. And look at you from Nairobi, Kenya. All right. Nairobi's a beautiful place. So is Mombasa. Pantheon, bro. All apps work out here, even Weeble and Fidelity. Oh. So no longer have to be here to get your money, huh? I don't know much about Black BB either, Lord Nemesis, other than Shaq. Oh, can't make a free throw. Hey, you know a lot, KGW. For you to know that particular thing, you know a lot. If AMC goes to 300 and GME didn't, moo, I'll be a millionaire after taxes. Yes. MRCK 694, welcome. What's up with you, brother? Let's go AMC. Make me a millionaire on vacation. I'm not coming back for a while. Okay. Well, hopefully everybody gets what they deserve or what they want out of this. Uh, Whimsy chick, how are you doing? How's my friend doing? Happy Saturday, future millionaires. Thank you, thank you. Well, likewise. Primo bro, how's it going? Dang, Rocha. Harshan Gill. Hey, AB, Luna looks interesting right now. I just threw in 100 and was able to get 500K coins. Even if it gets back to 1 cent, eventually we'll make good profits. See, here's the thing. This is why I love, like, see Harshan Gill, the mindset right there that you just brought out. I love this mindset. You look exactly. Let me rephrase exactly the statement that Harshan Gill just said. Hey, AB, Luna looks interesting right now. Okay, we know he's basically addressing clearly in that statement that it's in either direction. It could go worse, it could go better, but it seems like, I mean, again, right now, as he's saying, I just threw in 100. This is why I said that he was judging the waters by this statement. I just threw in 100 and was able to get 500K coins. And now he's clarifying his conscience, saying, even if it gets back to 1 cent eventually, we'll make good profits. So look at the statement here. $100. I can go through Harshan thinking process through his words without him having to reveal his true intentions, because I see it right there in that statement. It's $100. He's making the case here that this is not going to make a difference in my life right now, but in the future, it has the potential. So the risk versus reward here that Harshan is using, is hands down. Who is any of us to say, no, it's not going to go back to a penny? It could take years to go back to a penny. But when it does, $100 now means nothing, or in the future means nothing to him. But in the future, possibly 10,000, 20,000, and 100,000, who knows? A million definitely makes a big difference in his life, in anyone's life. So As you can see, the risk versus reward here makes the decision. You don't even need to, in this case, like make a case and say, oh, is it really going to go back up or is it going to completely go to zero? Even if you put the worst case scenario and Luna, hypothetically speaking, goes to zero, his loss is only $100. His life will not change, not by not even small bit. He will not get deprived of food, and he will not be getting kicked out on the street just because of that $100. That was not the difference maker, but it could have a difference in the future for the upside for him. So I love this mindset with people, like who, for people who have it, because it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, what's the worst? It's not even. It sounds like gambling, but it's not, because yes, you are kind of gambling your $100 away, but your life is not changing with it in it. Like, your life is not any different with that $100 in your pocket. Of course, a little bit fatter, but it doesn't change, not even one bit. Your life is still the same. But with that investment, he possibly could have, uh, you know, he could put himself in, at least position himself for a possibility to possibly make hundreds of thousands down the line, or thousands of dollars, or who knows, even $1 million down the line, that could upgrade his life status just simply from that $100. Big ups, Hassan. Let's see where I am at. Right there. And see, right after that, what does he say? Nothing to lose with $100. Ha ha. See, I told you that Luna crash was insane. Yes, of course it was. It was orchestrated, folks. Read on it. AB is a Lakers fan. I won't hold it against you. Portland Trailblazers here. No way, you're a Portland fan, Tater Tot? Wow. I know you must have loved that playoff series between them and Oklahoma City when Paul George and Westbrook were going against Dame. And, he hit that half court shot, and at the end, he just did this. Westbrook called for it in that series. He kept him and Paul George. They kept digging at Dame Lillard. They kept taking digs at him, and he just sent them home. Let's see. Maddox is in the house. Halts are going to shake a lot of people out. See, this is also another thing that I was also, guys, trying to tell you about. Um, this camera. I like this. I just swiveled it to the left and the light was dimmed. Yeah, I told you, AB is very. It's like the dog in the human world. Um, yes, people have different, like I've told you, those people are going to hurt. The people are going to get halts, and psychologically they're going to go down. When the price opens up, they process sell orders first for a few minutes. Then people are going to be like, oh my God, it's over. It's back down to 10 or 20 or 15. And no, I don't want to be a part of that crew for another year. And they end up coughing up their positions, and they'll only have themselves to blame for later. So we'll see how it works out. Hopefully, may God gives nothing but the best for everyone in this play. Mrs. Tahiti, there we go. We missed you, my friend. Everything is good with you, I hope. It has not been the same without you, Mrs. Tahiti. Felt very lonely and cold in this chat. With much respect and love to everyone else in here, obviously. Let's see. Where are we at? KV Warriors are taking it this year. Yeah, guys, it's just scary. The guys don't even have they don't even have James Wiseman in. It's just terrible. Um, I just hope that me being look at that. Bones. You're right. Are you talking about Eric Van Daniken? Yes. Of course I'm talking about him. I don't think Pantheon knows what aloha means. Well, he's from Canada, but I'm pretty sure he knows. Try it again. Yes, Whimsy Chick, welcome to the Discord. That's wow, that just brought tears to the heart. I'm in around 10 to 11 Discord, so that can't be the reason. I'm doing well, Mrs. Tahiti. Thank you. How are you? Leo the Lion. Giannis Antetokounmpo bullies the Celtics like how the apes bullies the hedge funds. Well, for now, he's bullying them like the hedge funds are bullying us. But eventually, yes, we're gonna turn the tide over. We're gonna be the Giannis. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Charlie, I think you got that correctly on why she. No, I don't think she wasn't trying to get my attention to pee. Um, but good thought, by the way. She just wanted to go like okay, so she wanted to go to outside and do a run, but we did it early in the morning today. We walked, and she just wants to be active. She's still a puppy, so, and she knows I bribe her with treats, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna push him. So if he gives me a treat, I'll leave him alone. If not, then I'm gonna keep getting on his case. She's so adorable and cute about it. And now she's just laying down back here behind me, submitting to the reality that might be. And I hate that because now I feel upset. I feel down. I feel bad. So I definitely will get her up after this live and we'll go for a little jog or run. And come back for some treats as well because again, I don't want her to. Um, I hate that. I hate that. It's like I feel like I passed my narrative on. I forced it up onto her. So West Brick is not welcome here in Oregon. West Brick. Yes. I think we're stuck with him. I don't know who's going to trade for him. Welcome, Charlie B. Welcome. Welcome to the Discord. Yes, sir. One of the greatest, if not the greatest moment in Blazer history, 1977 championship is all we have here in Portland. And lots of aggravating endings to some great seasons. Lillard's wave off is what, yep. Okay, what we got for AMC, AV? Lee the Lion, welcome. Right on time today. Okay, wow, I can't believe I caught up with everything. Um, Leo the Lion. So basically, AMC in a nutshell, you're gonna see the unknown would strike out of nowhere anytime, at any given time. At any given time, it could be, it could pop up. At the end of the day, they're not gonna make something like that happen right in front of us. I mean, they got us into a frenzy of almost that. If it's too good to be true, then that means it might be too good to be true. And honestly, that's a mindset that they engraved in us. But in this case, it's not. There's no such thing as too good to be true. Like it's gonna do what it's gonna do. It's gonna have its thing. It's gonna have its run. It's just when the other side have enough money to deal with it, and when it's time to let it go. I told you guys before plenty of times that the most important thing to them is to break that hold mindset. That hold mindset is what terrifies them because buy and hold, okay, they want one. They do want the buy. They want you to participate. They need your money, but they don't want the hold. That hold part was never part of the equation. And that's what terrifies them from us because if we stick to our guns on this, and we get it the way we want it. We bought, we held, and we got rewarded handsomely according to our holding. That is enough conviction to the entire planet, not just to the people involved, but the people not involved in this play as well, that this can be redone. And all that needs to be done is to buy and hold and wait for the masses to join in. And it's a done deal. And imagine after this play is over, you get all of us. I mean, come on, let's look at our community here in AB's world. Uh, with the amount of people that we have, if we form a tiny little or small little hedge fund, and we all go in on place and we become financial advisors, and we go and have our headquarters, whatever it can be from a basement. It doesn't freaking matter as long as we have legally uh, you know we're in the system, and we have our rights, and we have all the legal proceedings being and the paperwork needed. Can you imagine with our own money? We don't even need to hedge other people's money, but with our own money, all of us, um, what we can do, we can become the next bbig. Bbig is Vinco Ventures. What they do is they're a perfect company. The reason why I say they have a great financial or great model, fundamental model for the future, is because they buy or itch their way into some investments. And in some companies, they build them up, fix them up as far as marketing and everything. And then they sell their portion for a profit, or they continue that ownership in that company and grow with it. It's genius. It's marvelous. That's why they have multiple sources of income. We could be the same thing. We could go ahead and invest in stocks, like take big grips in stocks and companies we believe in. And we could also invest in a lot of real estate all around. I mean, you guys know how many foreclosures are already rising up. Uh, it's not gonna take too long, guys, before this selling market that we're living in, that makes no sense, is no longer the selling market, but buyer's market, please. So you're going to see homes that were hundreds of thousands and possibly millions in some of them that are going to drop down to 10% of their value, 20, 25, 30, 40% of their value. Uh, just wait to see what comes, guys, our way. We're positioned for a lot of success and greatness, and all it takes is just capitalizing one good decision on another. All right. At Lee of the Lion, heard AMC may hit 650 next week, then the following. I don't see the 650 whimsy. Like I said, I will be surprised if we see the 860 61. But I can't say you're wrong, or definitively either of us is wrong or right. It's a possibility, yes. So yes, I sure do hope that's the truth. Um, Again, remember, I've written on the YouTube channel a cryptic message once before. KJW knows what I'm talking about. Uh, and let's see if that cryptic message is true. Let's see. Uh, Tater Tot, you do look good in red and black, and you got some blazers in you. Hey, if I was gonna make it to an NBA team, I don't care what team it is. I don't care if it was the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care. Hey, if they're paying, I'm playing. Uh, Bobcats, wherever, the Charlotte. I'll play for MJ. um, Meh, whatever. I lose short-term capital gain tax this month. That's pretty good. Tater Tot, Spurs fans here would love to give you back Zach Collins. The one crazy thing, I respect obviously the Spurs and Popovich, um, but the one thing that never makes sense to me is how some of these lists out there can say something about Tim Duncan, uh, being the greatest player of his generation and whatnot. And again, nothing against the Spurs or Tim Duncan, of course, or any of that. But are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's hands down Kobe Bryant is the greatest player of his generation, and he's equal to me to Michael Jordan, both at the top of this pyramid of basketball in the basketball world or hierarchy. Um, I never went to an open gym or a high school game or a middle school game or whatever, and heard anyone shoot a ball and say Duncan, or I want to be like Tim, or I want to be like, uh, whatever. But you always either heard Kobe or MJ. I'm just stating the fact. I've never been to an LA Fitness, an open gym, an outdoor, in the streets game. I never ever heard anyone say, like, I heard people say Kyrie, I heard people say LeBron, and all those I can expect, whatever. But I never heard anyone say, like Duncan or make me like Timmy, you know. And this is not hating on the guy. Just can't believe that they placed him on a hierarchy higher than Kobe Bryant as better players in their career. If you're not 21 year old and you're not just watching this new basketball, like Tim Duncan was in a team that was in a system that relied heavily on all the players in it, like Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, the whole staff, and obviously Popovich. It was just cut out perfectly for them. They played correctly as a team. I give them all their props. They got all their 5 championships, they well deservingly. But individual player wise, none of them measure up to 25 to 30% of Kobe Bryant's skill. Are you kidding me? Come on, guys. Come on. Uh, I've seen Tim Duncan get dunked on almost by every great player we could think of: Vince Carter, Kobe, whoever you want, Tracy McGrady. All right, I'm about to wrap up. I just want to read some more of these comments. 3 hours on a Saturday? Wow. You guys must love me, and I must love you guys. What's your thoughts on Luna? Do you see it reaching 1 cent, possibly 10 cents, or $1? Um, at some point, I do. Yes, Harsan, I do see it at some point. Now, whether that be in the near term or far term future, that I can't. I don't know. Who knows at that point? But I do believe, at least for whatever that is worth. Again, not financial advice, but I do believe it. That's my opinion. Remember, when the battle is won between those two sides over there, and if crypto obviously is going to be the world, uh, and the monetary system that we're going to use in the world as we move forward in life as a civilization, uh, be careful, because there's going to be a lot of coins that have no uh, adoption by major institutes, and therefore leaving itself exposed to be in a pointless or a worthless blockchain, or a worthless entity, coin. So look, if you're going to invest, look into the companies or the cryptos that are heavily adopted by major institutes. And then, you know, you can sleep as comfortable as you want. You can sleep as a baby. You don't have to worry about having nightmares and none of that stuff. Tater tot, man, that guy left after 1 year at Gonzaga and has been hurt ever since, it seems. He was a lottery pick. We had him and Myers, Leonard. Oh my God! At the same time. Good night, Ridwan. Thanks for showing up today, and hopefully you walk out with a lot of great info. Blazers had some bad luck in the draft, man. Brandon Roy, short career, and they could have had Durant. Yeah, of course. Well, uh, Brandon Roy was a monster, man, and then knee issues killed him, derailed everything. Um, and that Greg Oden, that's the ultimate one right there for you guys. Uh, but you guys at least had Alonzo Mourning. No, sorry, Alonzo Mourning was with the Miami Heat, right? No, he was with you guys. Hold on, am I losing my mind right now? I think I am losing my mind. Yeah, he was with the Heat. Okay, I had to fix it. Sorry. Yeah, look at Tater Tot winning the whole chat. Yeah, Brandon Roy's knees, Jailblazers with Shade and Punty. Davis Stoudemire got caught trying to take weed on a plane, drafted. Boyle, jeez. Martell Webster gets asked for his ID and gives the cop his basketball card. Come on, man. Come on, AB. You can't disrespect Duncan like that. He didn't have a flashy game, but he got it done. Quadruple double in the finals. He did. I'm not disrespecting. Okay, I'm not. Like I said, I give him his props. But the ultimate disrespect is to place him anywhere above or even in that conversation with people like Kobe or MJ. That's, I feel like, is a disrespect. And right now, the whole world has this, and these so-called the Stephen A. Smiths and whatever who don't know shit, in my opinion. When they say stuff like that, like they're the ones who label Kobe being behind, not even being in the top 10. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous to say Kobe anything besides one or two. To me, you lost me at that conversation already. Um, so yeah, I give him his props, but let's look at it. He was a power forward. Who's a better power forward that you will build your team around? Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan? Um, there's many also like this is very similar. LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah, I could see why you choose Tim Duncan over LaMarcus, but LaMarcus was a bona fide hustler when he was with Tater Tot's team. Don't forget to add that one to your list, Tater Tot. And yeah, so like it's what else can we say at that point? There's nothing that like who else was a power forward? Let's see. You got Kevin Love. You got Anthony Towns, even though he plays center. Anthony Davis, even though sometimes he lines up as a center. I know for a fact Anthony Davis is a way better power forward in every aspect you would think of than Tim Duncan. Better offensively, defensively, in every aspect. He's more fragile for sure, but you can see why because of out of the what he puts out. He more offense and more defense. Again, there's a higher chance of you getting injured. Anyways, moving on. I'm not taking any digs, obviously, at uh, you know Tim Duncan. I know he's the cornerstone for the Spurs, but in those times back then, I loved Manu Ginobili the most. He was just something. And Tony Parker was with, what's her name, Vanessa, from the Real Housewives. I remember he lost out on that. Lakers big market. Donahue and the refs didn't help the Blazers' 15-point lead go into the fourth quarter. Such a sad day in Blazers' life. It's okay, man. J.R. Ryder caught smoking weed out of a beer can. um, AB, what's your thoughts on the last UFC card? Hold on, did I skip some? Um, oh, Aaron Friel at Pantheon. When you coming on for a live show again? Huh? That's a good question for Pantheon. I don't know if he's still around. Um, AB, what's your thoughts on the last UFC card? Wow. Um, well, unfortunately for Gaethje, that's one thing that the foreign market is better than the domesticated market in wrestling. We suck as Americans. We suck in wrestling. We have our own type of wrestling, but clearly when it goes worldwide, it's nothing. That's why the likes of Khabib Nurmagomedov or Oliveira, Charles Oliveira now are beating guys like Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier and stuff like that, and people like that because they're just submitting them. So clearly, the American style of wrestling is not up to par or that great when it comes to wrestling when you compare it with the entire world. We need to add or have a team huddle and talk about this again. We need to restructure our wrestling in the states, or our ground game, in other words, not the wrestling, but let's just say the ground game, because our ground game sucks when it comes to that. Now, standing up, yes, no one competes with the U.S. I agree. We are the besides of Tyson Fury. Wilder, please don't box again. Um, you gotta love that guy, man. Fury is the shit. Um, but yeah, our ground game sucks in the UFC. So Oliveira, now you got to fight somebody else. I hope it's Islam Makachev. That's a perfect setup. Islam versus Charles Oliveira. Ooh, winner for the undisputed champion of the lightweight division. That's interesting. That's a fight I want to see right now, besides everything else out there. Poor Ferguson, though. Oh man, yeah, Ferguson is done deal. He's been done deal since that Gaethje Justin Gaethje fight. Like when Justin Gaethje really broke him to pieces, ripped him apart. That's when he was done. He was done back then. That first Costanzo and Charlo fight was when it was a classic. Actually, you're right, KB. I might be watching that one tonight. Carmelon, AMC to the moon. All right, love the show, AB. Got to have dinner and watch some hockey. Love you, man. I love you too, Tater Tot. Thank you so much for stopping through. Again, I'm just doing the goodbyes for everyone. KL, how are you doing, my friend? Um, who you got winning? Can't call it. Da, 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 kind of rigged because it's set up for him to win all the belts in that division. Yeah, that Javonta and Romero fight is going to be a really good one. I can't wait for that one as well. Alrighty, my dear friends and family members, um, it is that time for us. It's been 3 hours, right around that 3 hour exact mark. I didn't expect to come on for this long. Honestly, it's now 7:30. It's going to be 8 soon. Well, you like, why? Why do I care? Well, AB's got to go take Maggie out. I know she's excited, and then, uh, I'm going to go for a run with her and then come back, shower change, and then maybe go to the hookah bar to see some friends and chill with them, play some cards. Um, Thank you all. Appreciate you, KL. Thank you, Mr. Panulo. Always a pleasure, my brother. Thank you so much. The OG of all OGs in here. Lee of the Lion. It's always a pleasure. Can't wait to attend your MMA gym, brother. Hopefully, I get family and friends discount there. um, and for all of you, I see here. Got Thanks for everybody else who also joined the Discord. You guys, I'm getting notifications to it still. Um, so, and thank you for liking the video, guys. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't. And again, I'm overwhelmed with all your love and support, guys. We're gonna move. We're gonna get our days. We're gonna get our move. We're gonna get our money. And I just can't wait until you know, until we're filthy freaking rich to the point where we can all meet up at any given time and possibly start our own big organization or hedge fund. Each person will have a position in the hedge fund. Can you imagine that? I mean, we all will be financial advisors at that point, knowing all the stuff that we're doing, we went through in this market. At that point, we just have to take our test, apply, get accepted, and then we can have our own hedge fund. That would be cool. Could you imagine? We'll call it Apes. Ape LLC. We'll be battling Citadel and Renaissance hedge funds. All right, guys, enough fun for one day. So I'll let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much for attending, guys. And once again, much love, AV Investments.